What is going on, everybody? Voidlego here, back for a brand new episode of Higurashi When They Cry. Last time we were on, we had just finished up the questions arc, as Akasaka and Oshi have decided to figure out all the mysteries of the Himizawa incident and try to save and understand why so many people had to die. And so here we are, chapter 5, getting into the answers arc. We get some answers finally, and guess it's called Kai, and new menu as well. So yeah, let's just get right into it, man. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, last chapter made me so pumped up for this. Beloved Cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry, Kai. We finally reached a halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. We're also going to be playing from the perspective of Shion. Choices result in dialogue chases. I'll just go ahead and skip it. Let's just go for the PC version only. Let's not do any of the choice. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl... Well, okay. Never mind. The girl cried at the end. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key one by one. On average, I reached the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness. My head ached for a minute. I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat that small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn, even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Whatever, I don't care if I'm clumsy. Just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this is set for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back into the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there was no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administrator office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. Won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. So quickly as if electrified. I was almost in a panic and so felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be in here. It's also dangerous if somebody comes into an administration office. It cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them since the footsteps were very far away. But this time I couldn't think calmly. Ah, shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. Should be feeling excited instead. Calm down. Just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Ah, shit. This key should be hard and cold, yet it's powderable and hot. Feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit. It wasn't the key that was powderable. It's my fingers that were limp. Ah, shit. The key sprung on my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody pushed over a cupboard. Going. Sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. Looked around afterwards to carefully see if I caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything? What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Ah, shit, what is the sound I'm hearing? Is my sweat dropping on the floor? Shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down. Calm the fuck down. To clarify, this isn't a prison or a detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for so many years, I either go crazy or be brainwashed. Most of the girls chose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God, which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me different way once again. It's fun to misbehave, and it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my emotions, I realized I completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. Can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Then it became fun once I set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religious way. Very interesting. So Shion was pretty much raised in like a private Catholic school. Which I never expected. Oh, I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight because there were so many daughters of important people living here. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders, ironically, also worked to prevent escapees. But that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested it if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I've been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long-distance ones. I needed a perfect plan, as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the important day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in this school. This school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance were a fact and was weak to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. In the world of girls, rumors spread fast, especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently, they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means I managed to make them through to a deal with something shady without contacting families or the authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it would look like I ran away with some teacher. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread a rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. Sisters questioned me a few times, but since romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. I swapped after dinner duties with my classmates so they could adjust my schedule on this day. I wasn't even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they definitely suspect I went away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. If the lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour, tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step towards my great escape. Calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, it might break the key. Then when I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have to be escape tents before. It's anyway so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before who couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while trying to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, though. You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. Ooh. Whatever. Bring it on. I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There'll always be one more chance. If things get serious beyond this door, I psych myself up and push the door open. A strong smell is hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? Never smelled this strongly grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. I smell something I smell every day. Just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Calm down, Shion. I can only rely on the map inside my head from this point onward. I researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident I'll be able to avoid all of them, but I'm not so sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places. There's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I'm conjured to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. Higurashi's solid gear, baby. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move, if I'm lucky. Damn, after all that effort, it just boils down to luck. This is a gamble, after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. It's a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from the school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. Ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs. It was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal is happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them to hear those footsteps. Try to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me without me being aware of it. Didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run. Something within urged me to choose from either one. Can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. Couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the warm air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. Well, I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, and fortunately it didn't happen. It's even possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. Doesn't mean anything now, since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully, I fell onto my butt. There was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 50-minute escape. Putting number 2 really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much. But I can't be relaxed yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. Can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Alright, did not expect this. I have to say, I did not expect this. I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. I thought I experienced a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of the school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it would be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? This is too funny. Burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching, crouching in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in.
お勤めご苦労様です。シオンさん。
The driver was a man of fairly old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled.
シャバの空気は久しぶり。とにかく今は銀シャリが食いたいかな。
学園では上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが、シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか？
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a search of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners he taught me. Serves you right. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me that this was just countryside of Japan, not Europe.
お腹は空いてないですか？どこか飯の食えるところへ寄りましょうか。
Let's get some McDonald's.
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid throwing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kaisai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ、最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう、聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
Oh, the advance of technology.
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトっと落ちてくるわけ？気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。おでんの缶詰になってるそうで、それ。
ごめん。缶詰はパス。
缶詰、相変わらずダメなんですか？もう子供じゃないでしょうに。
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私は疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私した？
いえいえ。よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがどことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもので。
Well, obviously. Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way.
お姉は元気？
多分元気かと。私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。ひなみ沢のばあさんのとこだっけ？
シオンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
I responded with disinterest, even though I wasn't one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oryu, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. And when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. Glared at him, but then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
Shion is definitely anti-authority. Even in chapter 2, she was against the whole family, like Sonozaki family clan thing and what it did to her sister, which, is very understandable. So it would make sense her escape from this strict Catholic school.
チェー、好きなだけ笑ってろ。私は寝るよ、寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. Strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
はいはい、さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okiyama. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the damn protest back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever found out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Himizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was a war. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Himizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the Y police with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members even though they were strangers to me. That memory warms my heart. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a secret palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together, till we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. Didn't feel any different though than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. There the villagers were furious about the dam project, but for those of us who were kids at the time, it's a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family, my dad's organization, had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagurochi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Gah. Car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. Must have been run over a bump or something. So I only realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Must be looking forward to going home.
シオンさん、起きてますか？
何？
お帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね？
他にどこに帰んのよ。
I answered straightforward way with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforward way.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は、園崎本家当主が下したものです。
Saint Luca, huh?
シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
シオンさん。
わってるって。さいな。
As the head of the Sonzaki family, the Hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the pre-second rule, whereas the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonzaki family was made before I was even born. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion has a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify that she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonzaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonzaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could be proved troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There are no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we're sisters that just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart even if we only swapped hats. I wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonzaki house to live with the hag and to learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Luca's. I have no objection to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous. Now I feel that having to learn about that bound and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okiyama. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't want me to enter Himizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okiyama, where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Himizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days back in Okiyama. The tone isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば、親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってこと？まあそりゃあやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、カサイ。 あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。私が言いたいのは、
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
そうだろうね。万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをした葛西も責任は免れないだろうしね。葛西も小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方がいいんじゃない？
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼ヶ淵沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。
So they really treated Shion like the bastard child that, people used to, back in the Middle Ages, used to, like, kill off, even though they're twins. It's very interesting.
ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘密部屋送りかも。
I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it, though. Oh, don't worry, it's all underground. I've seen it before. Ooh, it's one hell of a doozy. Hell, they even got a dungeon down there. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, Lily. Hope I don't end up as a victim of that place. Foreshadowing.
Hey.
Or, Lily, more like backwards foreshadowing? Backshadowing. Even though it's already happened.
ま、なんとかなるって。
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they found out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishiborn area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. My dad's name is Daigo Dojima. Oh yeah, Kasai. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he was my butler. At first I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time I started to feel like he was on my side. It's just a hunch. I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle. Though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. Oh, damn. Like, shit, he's tall as fuck. God damn, boy, Willie just stretched him. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seen my mom and me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It's kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okiyama. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up in a futon mad and thrown into the swamp for real too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. Go to Okiyama and nowhere else. It's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness. I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
Also, Kasai is the tallest fucking guy I know. He's like 7'5".
まあ、最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。仮に姿を見られたってミオンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
それから
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。 私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人に囲まってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。あれは私をやたらと嫌ったばあさんの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし。葛西もそう思うでしょ？
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
ばあさんはあれこれ余計なこと考えすぎて正常な思考なんかできなくなってんの。あのダム戦争で神経張り詰めっぱなしだったから、まだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。ったく。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking, so I could feel the car running smoothly on the highway. Kasai spoke to me again.
シオンさん、ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of Isaiah's around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishiborn City." My own tongue was coming right up. Oh shit. Chapter 5. Mikashi. Mikashi? Mikashi. Shion Sunozaki. Oh, here we got our cast listing. Kichimaru, Weneriku, Mion Sonozaki, Satoshi Hojo, Kuroto Oshi, Jiro Tomiki, Miyu Takano, Kiryosuke Ire, Umiko Chire, Higurashi When They Cry, Kai. When They Cry, Kai. So you're at the end of the chapter? I was gonna say it's pretty damn short, chapter 1. Yep, that's it. Notebooks beginning. Goodbye, sister. Now let's go check out the steps. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo. Ooh, okay. What's this? Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Wanakagashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run accidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun has been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible, considering that aspect, but the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in the serious and mysterious deaths in Himizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oshiwo-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oshiwo-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the three families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? Why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth are all in the reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so that the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. Truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oshiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl. Oh. Okay. Also, it's the music he used at the end screen. We can actually hear it in game. It's something. I thought for a second there that was like the notes of Akasaka. But no, must be of Shion. Or somebody else. You know what? This would be way too short of a video. Let's go to chapter 2. Fuck it. Let's go. AD 1982. Okay, so we're in 1982. Okay. The fourth year of the series of mysterious deaths in Himizawa, also known as Oshiro-sama's curse, 1 year prior to Kachimara's transfer. Alright, so we got exact data as where we are. Alright. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as a chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. Can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. Can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Hey, that's really positive. Feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. It really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. Especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. I should think of redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okiyama. The property is one a realtor, my dad's conglomerate, obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a one-way complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and the scant one or two others, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. Probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they use for viewing, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time, though.
むしろその方がいいよね。自分の部屋っていう実感が湧くし。
I nodded to myself. Might have looked stupid, but helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry.
シオンさん、おはようございます。ゆうべはよく眠れましたか？
ソファーに毛布でゴロ寝は結構辛いです。
I want to bet right now the butler that overheard Shion's like quote unquote suicide at the end of chapter 2 was Kasai. Just gonna put that out there. And I bet this was the same apartment Shion retreated to after the whole Mion murder spree.
やっぱ日本人はちゃんと布団敷いて床に寝ないとね。たくあんが美味しい。
それはよかった。後で必要なものを教えてください。可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。あ、でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし。葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ
I have to be serious about my plan. Can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever.
バイトでもしようと思います。生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。私が選んだ生活なんだから自分で何とかするのは当然。
それはたくましい限りです。でもいいんですか？ 外を歩けばやがては親族の誰かに見つかりますよ。
Especially if you're bright green hair.
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器変わって。
やれやれ、何を企んでるやら。どういう作戦ですか？
Kasai dialed a number. It's funny to me. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment.
もしもし。
おはようございます。ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ。おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今受話器を代わります。
I take the handset.
もしもし。私が誰だかわかります？その声は。でもそんなはずは。シオンの寮は使用電話禁止だったはず。そんなはずはない。学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは血の巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ。あんた学園抜け出したの？どうやって？そんなことはどうでもいい。会いたかったですよ、お姉。
That was as far as I could take it, and Mion had hit her limit too. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this.
久しぶりだよ、シオン。あんた本当にどうしたの？どうしたもこうしたも。別に私は嘘吐いてないです。って、じゃああんた本当に脱走したの？やる。私を閉じ込めておくにはちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
Kasai smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？大丈夫。バッチャはお稽古に行っちゃってる。今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。それは好都合。近いうちに会って話をしましょうね。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。うん。本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？んにゃ、来てない。本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから、私を素通りしてバッチャに連絡行くことはない。だから来てないって断言できると思う。ほう、そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。私はそんなの嫌だよ。シオンが変わってよ。鬼がついてるのはお姉でしょ。まあせいぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。すごい人事っぽい言い方だな。まあいいや。私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなって思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。そうだね。学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったらいろいろ面倒になると思うよ。連絡の件は了解。何か動きがあったら葛西さんに伝えとく。ありがとうです。それとあとお姉にお願いがあるんだけど。そう来ると思った。あ、お金は無理だよ。さすがにお金を無心できるとは思ってません。
Can't even send over 50 yen to your old sis, huh?
お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。なるほどね。そういうことか。で、具体的にはどうするの？
We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。吉郎おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでバイトできないか打診してみます。で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだね。めんどくさい役だな。何ですかお姉。双子の妹の頼みを断る？本当に？いいよいいよ、引き受けるよ。あんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ。サンキューです。今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。可愛いタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。あ、シオン、シュランクベルタね、去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ。
Oh, damn it.
あ、そうなんだ。うん。マスターが脳梗塞で倒れてね。退院してから一度は店を開けたんだけど。
Why did I laugh at that? I don't know. It's just out of all the possibilities, I did not expect the owner had a stroke. I don't know. It's just they just swabbed me in the face, and all I could do was laugh.
やっぱり体が持たないらしくてさ。惜しまれたけど閉店しちゃったわけ。そっか。そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終わっちゃったんですね。
I was disappointed my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？うん。いくつかある。今度会ったら全部話すね。ありがとう。私も学園で見てきたこと全部話しますね。近いうちに機会を設けましょう。追ってこっちから連絡します。うん。わかった。ミオン？何？元気でやってる？もちろん。ならよかった。切るよ。うん。じゃあね。
It's only been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought in some tea.
結局どういう話になったんですか？
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してきたのを打ち明けようと思います。で、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに働かせてもらえたらなって。
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても他の親類に見つかるかもしれないじゃないですか。
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間にはちょっと人目を忍んでくれればいいわけ。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp.
つまり簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、私がミオンだと言い張ればいいだけの話なんです。お分かり？
Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan, but Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade places.
つくづく大胆というか悪知恵が働くというか。
I mean, hell, I couldn't tell the difference.
いやいや、脱帽です。
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、カサイ。
Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him since he helped me escape him knowing that risk.
ああ、任せとけよ。シオンちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺が少し締めとくから。
What the hell is with like these like visual novels, like depressing ass visual novels and like maid cafes? You know, the only other one I can think of is Steins Gate. I mean, what the hell?
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りになります。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle, God forgive me for this pronunciation. Uncle Uncle Yosuho pounded his chest with his fists after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad that I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はしおんちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたいっていう気概に感心してるんだ。金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks put out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with when on it.
で、しおんちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
Oh my god, we finally see this CG?
私とお姉の都合次第かな。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番いいんですが。
おいおい、そんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃ会ったことないぜ。まあな、仕方ないもんな。
I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yasuo, Yushiro? Uncle Yushiro understood that. But I also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper and an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
体裁は構いません。生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから仕事中はしっかり頼むぜ。
You are getting below average minimum wage.
あと、事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
はいはい、分かってますよ。ふつつかものですけど、よろしくお願いします。ね。
こちらこそ、どうぞよろしく。
Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in the prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently there were all kinds of rumors going around about the St. Luca Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I mean, who isn't curious about an all-girls Catholic boarding school? I had a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in the secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. True that. You know, that phrase can be used to describe a lot of characters in this game. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left in the past 2 years.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
Yeah, a couple of guys get murdered, you know, same one of the mill stuff.
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだほんの少しピリピリしたムードが残ってましたよ。
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃないって言って神経質になってたんだけどな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。南沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ？
しおんちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか？ 子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなってくれよ。
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro always seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict.
そういえばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。あのクソムカつく現場監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。
Damn! Alright, Shion.
あれ確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。
That's one way to describe the construction manager. Damn. I don't know, I played fucking Mahjong with the guy. He seemed alright.
捕まったんですか？
ああ、確か初犯がまだ捕まってねえんだよな。そうそう、確か捕まってないはず。
しかもひなみ沢の守り神お社様を祀る綿流しの番にね。当時お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそう、あれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ、ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ、北条だっけ。しかもまたしてもお社様を祀る綿流しの日に。これはもうたたりしかありえないってずいぶん騒いだっけ。あれは怖かったです。
The construction manager. Ooh, this is nice music. The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Wanakagashi festival. And that incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worse, part of his body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story amongst us. We seriously believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumor of Oshiro-sama's curse to become the topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like, considering the circumstantial factors. Even so, the rumor faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Wanagagashi period as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Himizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Technically, police were still searching for his wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Ooh, really? Was that detail ever mentioned? I think it was. Yeah. Once again, the man most worthy of Oshiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Wanakagashi festival. So the fuss over Oshiro-sama's curse rose up again. Till then, Oshiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine, nothing more than that. I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaking fear of Oshiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell. And we started genuinely believing in the tales of Oshiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before. Oshiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies shredding into Himizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Himizawa village? Was going to Okiyama still safe? Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids try to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Himizawa or Okiyama, you were safe. It was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those words were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed. When in fact I was a little scared of the curse.
でさ、その翌年にも起こったんだよな。
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
If it happens once, it's an accident. If it happens twice, it's a coincidence. If it happens four fucking times, there's something, there's something up.
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだもんな。知らないよな。
Does she know? Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he said too much, as though he mentioned something I shouldn't know about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて急に黙られると面白くないですよ。
まあ、シオンちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのどちらかを選んでもらうことになるんですけど。
もう分かったよ。別に隠しゃしないよ。あったんだよ、その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me was giving me a warning. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they always either chided me or told me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt like it. But my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
実は賛成派の北条が転落事故で死んだ次の年にもな。つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に？ 3 年連続で？また？
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。聞いた話じゃ原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、神さんもその晩のうちに沼に飛び込んじまって。そりゃもう大騒ぎさ。村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
Oh shit. Damn, these chapters are going like quick.
うん。
Yeah, I can keep going.
奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。急死したってのは本当。神主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、あの頃は少し体調崩してたみたいだからね。急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくあるやつだったんだと私は思ってるけどね。でも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ。それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは死因に不審な点はなかったってことじゃないの？まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なるとやっぱり。それにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
I decided to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okiyama's train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anyone from Mizuzawa there. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we moved to small talk. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Oshiwo had told me about Oshiro-sama's curse. Is it Yoshiwo? I think it's that. Yeah, I think that's how Yoshiwo, because I'm pronouncing the Y as an O, so it's most likely Yoshiwo. Yoshiwo? That sounds right. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismemberment murder in the first year left quite an impact. In the year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off the cliff. On the day the villagers were enjoying their first Higurashi festival since the dam project was indefinitely frozen, this one also left quite the impact. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year the traitor to the village met the same fate. If it had only happened once, people would have concluded that was just a bizarre coincidence. But when it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part. After I left town, the curse struck again for the third time. People talked about how the curse more intensely than ever, both in Himizawa and Okiyama. How do we think this? Oshiro-sama's curse has drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was unclear with the first two incidents, but after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died in the third year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that people in Mizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to the idea.
神主は確か嫌われてませんでした？同盟の役員から。日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから。神主さんの穏健な態度はそういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had to look strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. When in reality, he was very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law, having married into his family. Sure, the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for similar festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out and became the headquarters for the Onikafuji Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oshiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our guy like how you treat fortune-telling. Once the dam project protests began, Oshiro-sama was suddenly hauled out as the symbol of our village's resistance. Tracing the Oshiro-sama faith back to its roots, it was an exclusive elitist faith that believed its members were descended from a holy ancestor, different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in peaceful post-war Japan, so this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, that idea remained, and they trudged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day, and it didn't take very long for the Onikafuji Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning as one, kill the white savages, won not but victory. Adults and kids were both gnawing at the bit, avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids it felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet despite calling it a festival, dissenters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regime. The Hojo couple who voiced their acceptance of the dam project in the midst of that atmosphere was truly brave. Then, on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident, and everyone believed it was Oshiro-sama's curse without question. So they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. Oh, really? While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to rebuild new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan as the three families, especially the Sonozakis, united the village by turning them into scapegoats. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of a shrine that had become a symbol for the dam project protest. As central figures in Himizawa, the three families were the backbones of the Onagafuchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was undesirable, and the priest was never accused of anything. But secretly, people whispered that he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Osho-sama's priest, that Osho-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません？
He was pretty cool, managed to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったら、あそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。フルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、仮にも御三家の一つ、フルデ家の長だったんだからさ。南沢全体が結束しなくちゃならない時に模範となるべき御三家の人間が自分から輪を乱すのは、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは私には難しいな。
There's that whole, Himizawa or Sonozaki pressure, I was taken aback. Barely managed to say the following. Even though we were identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Every now and then our opinions differed, but usually only over some trivial matter. We never had a difference of opinions this big. It was an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her some more.
お姉の言う協調って言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど。つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中で個を主張するなと、そういう話？別にそこまでは言わないけど、ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないかって、そういうことだよ。
Mion faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. It was I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a authoritarian idea. Maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who made that mature judgment. We've been separated for over a year. Been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion has been training to take over the headship of the Sonozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. But that was just it. We were never that different. Mion has become very like a successor since I've been gone.
お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seemed to get what I was implying.
やっぱり私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから。いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。 そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャのふりができるかってそれだけだよ。シオンにだって簡単にできるよ。そんなのやりたくないです。ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
おねえ。ミオン。何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back up.
あんたは私がそのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそれは誤解。そりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics even though we're identical twins. And we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems more dependent. She always worries about me. Someone gave her a cookie, she divided it in two and gave one half to me. Somebody gave her a candy, she waited until I said it was okay to eat it. Contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオン。私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put her forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mion. I'm Shion. She's the successor of the Sonozaki family and I'm just a vagabond. That isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed, living as who we are, for our own characteristics. We don't have to say any of that out loud. We can communicate by touch, just like this.
ありがとう。シオン。頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Mion kept nodding with her forehead against my fist. That was a sweet scene. A little bit, like, it was sweet, but also it had this tinge of sadness in it, you know? I mean, I've never had a twin, so I don't know how it feels to be identical twins, but must not be a great feeling of, like, separation between the two, you know? I said goodbye to Mion before it turned to evening. We had talked about the things that happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having that chat between sisters very much. We were able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other for over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up at the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away, and there were even some trails. No matter how tall I grow, I'll never be able to touch that sky. I'm Shion Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did and for what I'm gonna do. But this is what I chose.
なんだ、私だって大人な考え方できるじゃない。
I psyched myself up. Should go shopping for dinner. Though I have Kasai's help, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it'd be cheaper to cook. Ironically, the culinary classes from the evil school will come in handy. Then I'd go to the shopping district in Kami-ishiki. If I'm going there, I need to take the other street. Cool breeze in the late afternoon felt nice on my skin. Kasai came to the door. I was putting stuff I bought into the fridge.
あ、待って待って。今鍵開けます。
お買い物の帰りですか？お疲れ様です。
買い物程度で疲れてちゃたまんないよ。
Also, could you get like a higher ceiling? My head is touching it.
あ、葛西も食べてく？一人者にはスーパーの野菜の単位は大きすぎだしね。
よろしいんですか？ご厄介になってもいいものでしたらぜひ。
We got the bed teddy bear, we got the fish mat, and we got the bunny trash can. And we got Super Brain, first wife. Interesting. Kasai looked curious about what I cooked.
チェ、その顔は全然信じてないな。見てろ。
これらは冷蔵庫でいいんですか？入れておきますよ。
あ、悪いね。二人分だとお米はこのくらいかな。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai skillfully packed food in the fridge while glancing at each item. Great, now I'm just imagining the conversation between Shion and Kasai to like, okay, Kasai, first order of business, give me a giant teddy bear. What? Really? First thing you want. Yes, a giant teddy bear, Kasai. Whatever you say, Shion. He knows something.
シオンさん、相変わらず缶詰はダメなんですか？
They hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けての買い物はいろいろ大変でしょう。
理屈じゃ分かってんだけどね。無理強いされりゃ食べないこともないけど。それでも私はやっぱりパスだな。
悪かったと思ってます。少しふざけすぎたと思ってますよ。だからそろそろあんなくだらない話忘れてくださってもいいのに。
ああ、もううっさいな。男が厨房にチャラチャラ出入りしない。テレビでも見てておとなしくしててよ。
Kasai chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. Somebody told me there was canned food in my meal I just ate, I'd throw up. Started with a silly thing. Kasai told me a horror story when I was little. Oh, is it the canned... It's the goddamn canned flesh rumor, isn't it? You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from an unknown source. Like there's rumors about how there's worm meat mixed in burger patties or dog meat in beef bowls. Kasai had fun telling me one of those stories because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started crying in the canned food section of a supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore. I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself, and now I live my life naturally avoiding canned food. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mion doesn't have this issue. Kasai feels responsible for this, but he can't get rid of me that fair. Still, a fall like this is actually a good thing, otherwise I'd be too perfect.
葛西、机の上の新聞どけて。
いい匂いですね。ごちそうになります。
I just thought of a very funny scenario. Just, Kasa, with young Shion just going down the supermarket, aisle, like, Kasa picks up a can. Shion-san, would you like some Chef Boyardee? I don't like it! It all started because of that damn Chef Boyardee. That creepy old man on the damn packaging with his goddamn chef hat. Damn, that Chef Boyardee and his damn canned ravioli.
量が足りないと思ったら、あとは勝手に牛丼屋さんにでも行くこと。あ、テレビは切らないで。私は静かな食卓ってやつが苦手だから。
では、いただきます。
で、葛西何の用だったの？何か用事があってきたんでしょ？
I handed him a cup of tea. I could wait until dinner was over, but I wanted to get to the point quick.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと思ってましたが、食べながらにしますか？
葛西が来た時点でずっと何の用か気になってるから、先に言ってくれた方がご飯の通りが良くていいかもです。
自宅に学園から電話が今日ありました。
Well, that was gonna happen eventually.
今日そりゃ遅いね。よっぽど表沙汰にしたくなかったと見えるな。で、どうなったの？
電話は茜さんが取りました。
Someone was murdered.
親父さんには後で折を見て話すそうです。
Akane-san is my mom. That's what Kasai calls her, as he's known her since before her marriage.
で、母さんなんか言ってた？
I was lucky she answered the phone, since she's relatively on my side.
仕方のないやつだと漏らしておりました。こういう結果も決して予想外ではなかったような顔つきでしたね。
親父にはまだ知らせてないんだ。
茜さんなりにタイミングを測っているんでしょう。多分 2,3 日中には話すものと思います。
親父はばあさん寄りだからな。耳に入れば自動的にあいつにも伝えるだろうな。で、伝わったら見つけ次第即刻ここへ連れてこい。申し開きの意見によっては指の1本や2本ってことになるだろうね。おっかない子って。
笑い事で済めばいいんですがね。シオンさんの指だけじゃ済まないかもしれないってとこだけ。
Look,
お願いしますよ。
Look, my ass is on the line too, Shion. Please.
あちちち。
がっつくからだよ。あ、ちなみに味噌汁もご飯も作りすぎてるからおかわりは強制ね。3杯は絶対食べること。
A few days later, Mion told me that the hag had heard about my escape.
で、ばあさんはどんな感じだった？バッチェはカンカンでさ。
God damn it! I knew sending her to that damn Catholic school wouldn't work.
もしも沖宮界隈に帰ってきてるなら、即刻見つけ次第自分の前に引っ立てろってさ。怖っ。で、実際に親父とかの動向は？近々の親族会議でシオンをかくまってないか問いただすみたいだね。でも若いのに町中を探させるとかそういう真似はしないみたいだよ。
Holding a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search the town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public place.
母さんが随分暗躍してくれたみたいだね。
You can tell if she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom's sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline. A long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family rules and traditions. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title and sis took her place instead. Well, she's quiet now, mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side because I also hate rules and traditions. Well, we know who took most of the mother's, traits.
親父、最初はすっごくカンカンだったらしいよ。母さんがだいぶなだめたらしい。
And I'm pretty sure Mion got most of the dad's traits.
な 何のかんの言っても親父は最後には母さんには勝てないからね。オッケー、ありがとう。また何かあったら教えてね。本当の本当にヤバくなったら私もこの町を離れるつもりだから。葛西とか吉郎おじさんとか、それに母さんとか、世話になった人の顔は潰せないからね。お姉、あんたが今何を考えてるかわかりますよ。どうして同じ血を分けた姉妹なのにシオンだけこんな隠れるように生活しなきゃならないのかでしょ。
Mion was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけこんな窮屈な思いをするのはフェアじゃないよ。絶対。ありがとう。気持ちだけでも嬉しいです、おね。表に出たい時とかあったら相談して。シオンがいつでもミオンになれるよう協力するからさ。
She sounded apologetic. This shouldn't go quiet or grieve her. She sticks to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her simply.
ありがとう。実はそれが一番ありがたいです。じゃあ切りますね。じゃあね、またね。
Man, those 2 chapters flew by fast. As they say. But yeah, I guess in this chapter we're going to go deeper into the Sonozaki, the bloodline really, and how it works inside, and how I actually I really don't know where this is going to go. It could go a lot of different places, but yeah, I think this is a perfect stopping point. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, hit that subscribe button. If you liked it, throw a button. When telling me something, put that comments below. Want to check out the Discord server I'm in, or my Twitter, check description below. Yeah, it's been Voidlego. I'll see you guys next time. See ya!